Let's continue. I think the last time was uh, the shortcut method. Can you see my can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Sige. Pay attention. This time, I'm going to teach you on how to graph by counting. Can you hear the voiceover?
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Sige. So this is shortcut method. So the same problem, write the
Ay,
equation
sir,
of the
black
parabola
lang
in
po nakikita
general
ko, sir.
form that
Ag-
satisfies the given. Again? Ano yon?
Black lang pong nakikita ko, sir.
Lahat ba black lang ang nakikita?
Black lang pong nakikita ko, sir.
Sa
Lahat
akin po, sir, meron po.
Sa akin din po, sir.
black, black din.
Opo.
Meron po.
Baka sa connection natin yan kasi yung iba meron man. Sige ha, sige, hintayin
Wait lang po,
natin.
sir. Mag-quit muna ako, sir. Wait.
Sige, mga 1 minute. You have to see the videos kasi ano siya, kailangan niyo siyang para ma-answer niyo ang assignment. Okay, sige. Conditions. Na. Wala na naman. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
What you'll be seeing now is the shortcut while waiting dito sa ating PowerPoint. Is the shortcut of how you're going to graph a parabola. In this, the shortcut is counting. And the first step, sinabi ko na ito I think last time that the first step that you're going to do is you have to draw your Cartesian plane, identify what are given, what are the unknowns, then plot the points. You must master how to draw the Cartesian plane correctly because if it is not correctly done, and do not do it hurriedly ha, do not do it hurriedly, yung nagmamadali tayo, you must do it correctly because if it is not correctly done, then the entire graph would be wrong. We will just wait. Sandali lang ha. Give me 1 minute while waiting dito sa ating ang problema dito sa PowerPoint na to. Nagahang-hang.
Aga, talaga lang. Wait lang, bigyan mo Medj. Dali, stream mo Medj. Mag-answer pa about sa to. Oh my god, nagpa-flame ko.
In times that,
Pwede
are
naman
you
na
still with me?
start
Narinig
again.
niyo ba ako?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so while waiting sa ating
Stream
PowerPoint,
mo
in
na start
times
mo
that
mag-start.
you would be required to come here in school for exams, uh, I would not allow you to have your guide dun sa mga formulas na binigay ko. So you have to memorize all of those. If you can, this is not the purpose of the techniques, the shortcut method. Kasi parang mag-start na tayong mag face to face pag may mga major exams. So expect pag may midterm exams and meron tayong mga problems na dito sa ating lesson na need solving, then dapat no formula or no open formula. Ha? You have to memorize lahat-lahat. Meron pa ba ditong wala pang account sa Teams? Class President?
Kompleto na po lahat kami, sir.
Okay, very good. Pati lahat enrolled kasi baka mamaya yung iba hindi pa enrolled dito. May nag-check ba ng attendance? May bidal ba kayo? Meron bang nag-report kay Ma'am Dagalea kung sino ang absent, hindi nag-attend?
Yes po, sir. May nag-check po ng attendance sa amin.
Okay, very
Our
good.
class secretary po.
Very good. We will just wait. Be patient lang with this ano. Anyway, mga tatlong slides na lang ito. Kung hindi natin matapos, meron pa man tayong follow-up tomorrow. This time, I'm going to teach you on how to graph by counting. So this is shortcut method. Naririnig nyo na?
Yes, sir.
Sige. So the same problem, write the equation of the parabola in general form that satisfies the given conditions. Draw the parabola, its focus and directrix. The vertex is at negative 2, 3 and focus is at negative 4, 3. So in this method, you need to have a graphing paper, draw the Cartesian plane. Okay, so I hope you have your graphing paper with you and you prepared already your Cartesian plane. So I'll give you another 1 minute to prepare your Cartesian plane. So andito negative 2, 3, we need to count here only. This method is by counting. So we need to plot the points that are given. Vertex is at negative 2, 3. So andito ang vertex. Then focus is at negative 4, 3. Negative 4, 3. So, yan lang ang mga given. Yan lang ang alam natin ngayon. So here, we need to familiarize the different conditions of the graph of a parabola. Okay, shortcut ito. So ito lang yung mga tandaan natin na madali lang siyang i-memorize. So if the equation contains y squared, then the graph is open. It's either open to the right or open to left. So, again, if the equation contains y squared, the graph of the parabola may be open to the left or open to the right. So, kailan siya open to the right? If P is positive. Kailan siya open to the left? If P is negative. Okay. Now, if the equation contains x squared, then we have here the graph might be open upward or open downward. Upward if P is positive, downward if P is negative. Okay, ito yung tandaan natin. Then, we need the vertex. We need the vertex. We need the focus and endpoints of latus rectum. So, kailangan natin ito. Itong tatlo. But this time, we don't need the two tables. Hindi na kailangan natin ang table. We will just do the counting. So here, we need also the value of P. So how can we get the value of P? So from the vertex to the focus, ito yung vertex natin, ito yung focus, we will just count. So from here, we have 1, 2. So again, from vertex to the focus, we have 1, 2. Meaning to say, our P here is 2. So P is 2. But take note that based on the 2 points, our focus is at the left of our vertex. So if we're going to draw this, of course, going to left. So therefore, if it is going to left, dito tayo, then P is negative. So our P should be negative 2. Then after that, meron na tayong P negative 2. We've learned that the length of the latus rectum. So from here, pwede natin mahanap ang latus rectum. The length of latus rectum is 4P. So, disregard this time the sign. Huwag natin i-consider ang sign ng P because we are just counting. So always positive. Yung pag-count lang. Then later on, if we're going to determine the coordinates, we will know if it is negative or positive. So when we are counting, always consider positive. So, for endpoints of latus rectum, ang length ng latus rectum is 4 times P. So if we have 2 as our P, disregard this time the sign, so 4 times 2 is 8. So meaning to say, ang latus rectum the kahaba is 8. So divide that into 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So from our focus, we will just count 4 upward and 4 downward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So dito ang isang endpoint. Later on, we're going to determine the the coordinates of this point. Then 4 upward, 4 din downward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are now the endpoints of latus rectum. So if we're going to determine the endpoints of latus rectum now, so this is dito, x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 4. Then our y is 1, uh, 1, 2, 3. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7. The first endpoint. The second endpoint, so x 1, 2, 3, 4. This is negative 4. Then our y is 1. So negative 1. So the second endpoint, the coordinates are negative 4 and negative 1. So we can now connect this to upward, then the other endpoint. So this is now the graph. Connect the two endpoints for the latus rectum. Now, to determine the directrix, saan dito ang directrix? Paano natin malaman ang directrix? By counting. So this is, since we know that the distance from vertex to the focus is equal to the distance from vertex to the directrix. So, i-count lang natin. The distance here, which is the value of P, is 2. Disregard the sign. So, nag-count tayo dito, 1, 2. Then, mag-count lang din tayo dito, paatras ng 2. So, 1, 2. Meaning to say, nandito we will just draw a line here. So, X here is 0. So we will just draw here a line to determine that this is the directrix. So let us compare our graph, yung kanina. If our answers are the same, okay, let's check. P is negative 2. Kanina, P is also negative 2. So please check your notes. Dapat pareho yung solution kanina pati ngayon. So pag pareho, then this is correct. Then, the endpoints of latus rectum. The endpoints, one endpoint is negative 4, negative 1. So we have here negative 4, negative 1. I am checking here the solution kanina. Ito yung solution natin kanina. So I am comparing the solution. So the first endpoint is negative 4, negative 1. Dito. So andito siya. Negative 4, negative 1. Pareho. Then the other endpoint is negative 4, 7. Then we have here negative 4, 7. So, correct. So that is the shortcut method in graphing a parabola. I'll give you 2 minutes to copy question. Question so far? The shortcut method?
Sir,
Yes?
sir,
Yes?
ask ko lang po, how po nakuha yung ulit yung endpoints ng latus rectum, yung negative 4, 7, and negative 4 and negative 1?
Okay. Paano natin makuha ang endpoints ng latus rectum, negative 4, 7? First is, ano ito gang? You know how to determine the coordinates? after plotting? Or yung before pa tayo nag-plot? Paano siya nakuha?
Yung after na po nag-plot.
After nag-plot. Okay. So after nag-plot, tingnan lang gang kung saan siya magtama. 'Di ba okay, ano ko na lang ha, parang from the beginning of latus rectum. 'Di ba? To find the endpoints of latus rectum, we will just multiply our p by 4. Disregard disregard the sign. Since our p is -2, kindly turn off your mic. So we will consider the value of our p. Do not consider the sign. P is -2 without considering the sign, so we'll just consider 2. Then multiply it by 4 kasi yun ang formula ng endpoints of latus rectum. So ang length daw ng kung gaano kahaba ang latus rectum, that is 4 times the value of P. Parang 4 na beses kung gaano kalayo ang vertex doon sa focus. So, since we have 2, so 4 times 2 is 8. So since dalawa ang endpoints ng ating latus rectum, so i-divide natin ito ng 2. So 8 divided by 2 will have 4. So from here, from our focus, count 4 paakyat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So ito yung isang endpoint. Then sa baba naman 4 din. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito yung second endpoint ng latus rectum. Now, identify kung saang point siya magtama. Di ba? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, -4 for x. Then for y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Then sa baba, yun din, -4. Then saan siya? -1. Did I answer your question, Gang?
Yes po, sir. Okay na po, sir. Thank you
Okay.
po.
You're welcome. Sige, meron pang gustong magtanong? Okay, I think meron pa tayong 3 slides tomorrow and maybe short na lang ito. So for now, kung wala na tayong tanong, turn on your cam. Sinong mag-volunteer para sa screenshot?
Ako na lang po, sir.
Wait muna ha. Sino yun? Sino yun? Nag-volunteer?
Arion po.
Family name?
Arion.
Marion?
Arion po, sir.
Ano yun ga? Hindi ko sorry ga ha.
Arion Nicole po.
Family name is Marion? Wala mong Marion tayo gang?
Arion, sir. C po. C-A-R-R-E. Opo.
Okay. Carion. Did you receive your score?
Yes po.
Okay. Gang hindi ka pa muna pwede volunteer kay dalawang recitations ka na meron.
Okay po, sir. Sorry po.
Okay, okay. It's okay kasi masasayang lang. Next. Wala na mag-volunteer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Opo, sir.
Ako na lang po, sir.
Sino yan?
Malali po.
Manale.
Malali po, sir.
Ha? Malali.
Malali.
Sige, Malali. Last time, I don't know if you were absent or you're not able to answer the question. Bawi ka today. Sige, gang.
Shot na po ako, sir.
Sige.
1, 2, 3.
Wait. Sama ako, gang.
1, 2, 3. Okay na po, sir.
So, wala nang tanong. You're dismissed. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Sir.